Bear Creek Kids Leaders. Pastor Sam here on this Monday morning after a promotion Sunday. Man, it was really good. We had a good attendance yesterday. Lots of new kids coming up and then some other kids moving up in the grade, popping up, as we say here. We had our pop-up stations right behind me there where they could, jump and show their picture and all those kinds of things, make a little memory. We loved doing that, and I think a lot of families enjoyed doing that yesterday. And I'm just hanging out here with our bear, who we still don't have a name for, but we're going to work on that this season, maybe give the kids and you an opportunity to name our bear, because we are Bear Creek, right? So here's some other things I just want to encourage you on. Had a great day yesterday. Thank you all so much for showing up on time and early in a lot of cases. And to just keep working on that. That's one of those things that's always an ebb and flow. But when you show up, especially when you show up on time or early, you show kids that that they matter to you, that you care about them. And so it's extremely important to do that. So thank you to those leaders who were able to do that. For those of you who showed up on time or maybe a little late, you still got plenty of time to work on that. And I love you for it. So thank you so much for doing that. Now, I want to remind you about next week, the 27th. It's going to be a great, awesome day. It's back to school for many of our Sci-Fair kids, some who weren't here yesterday, but I definitely know we're going to have them back next week. So next week, Sci-Fair schools start on the Monday after church. And so that means we are going to do something really special. It's our Back to School Spirit Week. That means you get to wear your school colors. You can easily wear your Bear Creek Kids shirt, but you can also wear your Astros gear, because we're going to have the Astros shuttle crew. They are the ones who give out prizes and things sometimes at the games and at community events. They're going to be here with us in the second hour. But in both hours, we're going to have inflatables in some other games in the worship center. And then in some of the other rooms, we're going to have pick up and drop off in a very different way. And we're also going to have some other games and things that the kids can interact with. So very different next Sunday, but we will send either with this video or with your weekly email more instructions and maps on that. And then, of course, we'll be available to help with that as well. So I think that's it for that Sunday. Now, a couple of things we want to go over. We're going to ask you to view videos 1 and possibly 2 or 3 on our YouTube page, which we will link with this video and in the comments, as well as with your weekly email. The training videos. So there's videos 1, 2, and possibly 3. They're very short. The first one's about a minute and a half, and the other 2 are about 3 to 4 minutes. Won't take very long, but it's on your time, so we want you to do that. Talks about steps of faith and helping a kid. What's our win as a children's ministry, and starting there. And then we're going to go through the roles of what your role is as like a small group leader or a worship leader, things like that, maybe a greeter. And then the other videos along the rest of the season are going to be more about our policies, our procedures, how we keep kids safe. And you definitely want to watch those. So you're welcome to watch ahead and get ahead on those. You'll have access to all of those at any time. And speaking of policies and procedures, a couple of things I want to remind you of this past week. We had one actually happen yesterday, so just a reminder. We want you to know that we hope and pray and try to instruct our parents to physically drop off their kids in the classrooms. We also want you to be aware that at no point does any child get released to a kid or an adult under 18. There have only been 2 exceptions made, and it's because those parents work or serve in a certain capacity at our church. And so we will let you know if those kids are in your rooms and let you know about that. Otherwise, you should never, ever, ever release a child to anyone under 18, no matter if they are brother, sister, anything like that, okay? So we'll be reaching out to a couple of folks. You may not have realized it or known or remembered, so we're just going to kindly remind you of that, okay? So again, this is how we learn. It was a busy day yesterday. And then, of course, we want you to be aware of, females only taking kids to the bathroom. That's a really, really important one, and checking those bathrooms before kids go in. And then lastly, of course, and this is super, super important, okay? And that is this. If someone comes to you, a child comes to you, an adult comes to you, and they are asking where something is, I want you to do your very best to physically escort them, walk them to that space. Now, you may say, well, but Pastor Sam, I'm leading the class. Okay? Maybe you have another adult or another student leader in there. Assign that to them. You see, it's important for us to make sure that everyone feels like they're in your home, that they are a guest here. This is their home. We welcome them. Remember, we're trying to build community. And so in my community, I want to make sure that every question is answered and people feel like they're part of my family. That means I'm going to take them. I'm going to show them where the restroom is. I'm going to show them where their kids' class is. I'm going to walk them. And as I'm walking them, I'm going to make it a point of conversation. Hey, what brought you to Bear Creek today? I'm so glad to see you again. We missed you last week. Did you hear about next week? We're going to have this awesome, cool, inflatable stuff in here this week. It gives you a chance to really engage with those families. So I'm asking each and every one of you, do not just point. Yeah, it's over there. No. I want you to either do it yourself or find someone. Hey, could you escort this family to this classroom? They are going to connect you with some awesome people, and your child's going to love the class. Let's make it personal, okay? That's what makes the difference between their experience elsewhere and Bear Creek Church. We want them to find community here. And I know this has been a little bit extra, but it's so important. So thank you so much for putting in that extra effort and making sure that every kid feels loved, every family feels welcomed, and that every person serving is part of a community. I love you guys and gals, and I will see you this Sunday. It's going to be awesome.